Jeannie, thank you, and folks, welcome to the Division Series as it continues on Fox. Tonight we're in St. Louis, Missouri for Game 2 of this divisional matchup between the winners of the West, the Los Angeles Dodgers, and the winners of the NL Central, the St. Louis Cardinals. And now welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Joe Buck, Tim McCarver in just a second. The questions for the Cardinals coming out of the regular season were, well, this is the team that had the best record in baseball. They ran away with their division. They clinched it on the 18th of September. How would they play when the game started to mean something again? We know the answer now. They came out with 5 home runs in Game 1. They chased the starter Odalis Perez. Larry Walker had 2 in Game 1. Mike Matheny getting 1 there. And there were no problems for this red-hot offensive lineup for the Cardinals in Game 1. And Tim McCarver, if that's the answer from Game 1, I guess the question for the Dodgers going into Game 2 is how do they slow down the Cardinals?
Well, I think the Dodgers have to score early in tonight's ball game. And by doing that, you give Jeff Weaver, the starting pitcher, a chance to relax, and you squeegee up the game. You make it more of a 6 or a 7 inning game so they can get Eric Gagne in the game early.
Gagne could be counted on for 2 innings, maybe even a little more than 2 innings tonight. So pay attention to that, Dodger fans. We get ready for baseball in St. Louis. The Cardinals and the Dodgers. Game 2 with the Cards up 1-zip. It's all yours next on Fox. The Division Series on Fox is brought to you by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge. By Radio Shack, you've got questions, we've got answers. By State Farm, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And by Subway, it's what to eat when you want to eat fresh. Subway, eat fresh. Joining us for our broadcast here is Chris Myers down in the dugout. Chris.
Joe, tonight we're going to have a ground level and bird's eye view of 2 of the best third basemen in the game, Adrian Beltre and Scott Rowland. Now, Beltre, the Cardinal players before the game, talking about his defense this year, how improved. Jim Edmonds called him the MVP. Rowland, a 4-time Gold Glove, playing with a plastic customized wrap for his lower leg to help him with that calf injury. He's, of course, going to have some problems with that. Tony La Russa said it won't affect his defense, but he won't be 100% tonight. Either way, we could be in for a hot night at the hot corner.
All right, Chris, thanks, folks. Baseball fans, grab a cold, fresh Budweiser. Right now, it's officially game time. We're glad you're with us. Game 2 of this best-of-5 series. Exciting one in Atlanta that ended about 45 minutes ago or so with the Atlanta Braves coming back to win the game and defeat the Houston Astros to even that series at 1 as they head to Texas.
2-run home run by Rafael Furcal in the bottom of the 11th inning ties that series at 1.
Cesar Izturis is first up, and this crowd is already ready to go. The broadcast also available in Spanish by utilizing the SAP button on your television. Oh, 0-2. Izturis, Worth, and then Finley. Here in the first inning against Jason Marquis, who makes his first career postseason start. Came up with the Braves. He has flourished with the Cardinals. Still 0-2. He's appeared in NLCS play before with Atlanta. Didn't fare well against Arizona back in 2001, but this season a 15-game winner, and in one stretch won 11 straight decisions. 0-2 pitch. Ball and 2 strikes and Izturis.
Both pitchers who are starting tonight have had problems recently. Both Marquis and Weaver have lost 3 of their last 4 decisions.
The 1-2 to Izturis, 2-2.
Marquis, not a strikeout pitcher, but a guy who induces ground balls. Almost 7 of 10 balls put in play by National League hitters were on the ground. The only more dominant ground ball pitcher, Brandon Webb of Arizona.
It was 0-2. Now it's 3-2 as Izturis tries to work Marquis to get on to start the night.
If Jason makes his mistakes, Tony La Russa would prefer the mistakes to be down as we said, a dominant ground ball pitcher and a good hitter.
That's the first and foul. So a good battle here put on by Izturis. Yeah, he is a ninth bat in the Cardinal lineup, as if they needed more lumber to throw at any pitcher, but he was #1 in the National League with 21 hits. See if Izturis can get on to start the night for Los Angeles. Center, and that's where Jim Edmonds plays, and that is out #1. Let's take a look at the rest of the batting order for Los Angeles. You know, Izturis, he's 0 for 1. Now it's Jason Worth, who has pounded Cardinal pitching this season. Then it's Finley, Beltre, Sean Green, Milton Bradley, Cora, David Ross, the catcher, and Jeff Weaver pitches and bats ninth. They better not back down. Take our cue from Tom Petty. This series will go back to Los Angeles, or at least head there. Travel day tomorrow, and it will get back underway on Saturday. Here's Jason Worth. Grew up in nearby Springfield, Illinois. Takes a strike. The grandson of Ducky Schofield and the nephew of Dick Schofield, who played for a long while with the Angels. 1 ball, 1 strike. You were a teammate with his grandfather, weren't you?
1968. Dick Schofield, a terrific major league ball player, as was his son.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, nobody on. 2-1. Jason Marquis will tell you that, knowing that he's going to get the ball every 5 days coming into spring training, knowing he had a job in the rotation, not always having to look over his shoulder as he had to in Atlanta. He didn't really get along all that well with Leo Mazzoni, the pitching coach down with the Braves. That's hammered into left center field. Back at the track, Jason Worth has put the Dodgers on top in the first. Worth came into this at bat hitting .429 against Cardinal pitching this season, and he pounds a home run here in the first inning.
Falling behind in the count was Jason Marquis, and a 2-1 fastball on the inside part. Matheny setting up outside, and we've said it before, when a catcher sets up outside and has to move the glove to the left, normally he doesn't make the catch. We talked about the Dodgers' necessity to score early tonight, and they have done that here in the first.
Steve Finley now takes a ball outside. Finley is the real late season acquisition that worked out for the Dodgers. They made the big deal with the Florida Marlins, and that has not really worked as planned. What a rip by Finley. 1 ball, 1 strike. They traded away their favorite, most popular player in Paul Lo Duca, and a tremendous right-hander in their bullpen, Guillermo Mota. They thought Hee-Sop Choi would help at first. That hasn't worked out. And Brad Penny could have stepped in and been their ace, and he is injured. That's into right field. Back is Walker. Finley got it off the end of the bat. 2 out. Take a look at this Cardinal defense, which is pretty good. 6th in the National League in fielding percentage during the regular season. We cover the field, and it's brought to you by State Farm. Walker in right, Edmonds in center, and Sanders in left. And then a lot of gold on the infield between Roland, Renteria, and Matheny. Womack at second base, Albert Pujols at first, and Marquis is a good athlete on the mound. 2 out, nobody on, a run home. Thanks to him, Jason Worth. And here is Adrian Beltre. If Barry Bonds has any competition for this year's MVP award in the National League, you're looking at him.
48 home runs, leading the majors.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Tying the great Mike Schmidt for the most home runs by a major league third baseman at 48.
With 2 out, nobody on, ball 2 to Beltre. Adrian in game 1 was 2 for 4. Jason's got a story to tell over in the dugout for the Dodgers. 2-1 pitch, popped up, foul, and out of play.
That's one of the reasons on that 2-1 fastball. One of the reasons that Tony La Russa When they started spring training this year, he preached to his pitchers, if you're going to miss down in the strike zone. And when you do that, you use your infielders. Use the gold gloves on the infield. Well, Marquis didn't do that. And that 2-1 fastball to Worth.
That's into left field, a base hit for Beltre. Tried to crowd Beltre, and Adrian got the hands through and ripped it into left field. The top of the first inning continues, and the batter will be Sean Green.
Beltre just muscling that fastball to left field, but you could see Matheny with the glove almost on the ground. So far, Marquis is not hitting the spots down in the strike zone.
27 home runs he's now allowed this season, 26 during the regular year.
4 hitters, 4 balls in the air. That is not a good early sign for the Cardinals and Marquis.
One thing Marquis does when he comes to the set position is he bounces his hands up and down. He's cut it down a little bit, but there have been some teams this season that have complained about it because it's tough for the runner at first, if he were going to take off, to read exactly when Marquis comes completely set. The 0-1. There's a ground ball, and that ends the top of the first, but not before the Dodgers get on the board. Jason Worth is done talking. He has to go play the outfield after doing this. 1-0 LA in St. Louis. The Division Series on Fox is brought to you by Duracell, trusted everywhere, by HP. Welcome to HP Digital Photography. Click, print, invent. And by Universal Pictures, Friday Night Lights in theaters Friday. Take a look at the lineup for the St. Louis Cardinals. Tony Womack is digging his way in, ready to try to get it started. Larry Walker bats the number 2 spot. Then it's Pujols, Roland, Edmonds, Renteria, Sanders, Matheny, who homered in game 1, and Jason Marquis, as we said, can hit. Against the right-hander, Jeff Weaver. Great opportunity here for Weaver, who I'm sure is as tired of hearing the description of his abilities as this guy has all the potential in the world. Well, forget potential. 28-year-old right-hander is trying to finally realize how good he can be at the big league level. Only a 13-game winner. Jim Tracy, his manager, will tell you, without doing anything different, he could have won 17 or 18 games with more run support. The 0-2.
Jim Colburn, the pitching coach of the Dodgers, had an interesting comment. He said he's a pitcher waiting to happen, meaning it's time to fulfill that potential. His control against this Cardinal lineup, however, has to be very, very sharp.
He gets Womack to hit it in the air, and the third baseman Beltre is there, 1 out. Take a look at the defense for the Dodgers. Fewest errors in all of Major League Baseball during the regular season. We cover the field. It's brought to you by State Farm. Worth, Finley, and Bradley in the outfield. Beltre is Turris, Cora, and Green on the infield, with David Ross doing the catching. Weaver's more comfortable with Ross behind the. Ross gets the nod tonight. Here's Larry Walker. Two home runs in game 1. Ball 1. It's going to be real interesting, Tim, to see how Weaver does against the dangerous left-handed bats of Larry Walker and Jim Edmonds in this Cardinal lineup. That's on the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Not only are the Cardinals a potent lineup, but they're a very balanced lineup. And the addition of Walker on July 31st by Walt Jocketty, yet another midseason trade by the Cardinal GM.
For Weaver, when he gets the movement on his pitches and it dives, starts in at a left-handed batter and comes back over the heart of the plate, it is dangerous for the Dodgers. The 2-1 pitch. That was a little high. There's the pitch, and the count's 3-1.
That's the pitch that is fine on a 2-strike count, but once you fall behind and you try to jam a guy like Larry Walker, you better get it in there.
With 1 out, 3-1 pitch. Oh. Walker unloaded, full count. Take a look at the weather. We are potentially in for some rain tonight. Isolated thunderstorms throughout the evening. Supposed to rain heavy tomorrow. It's 80 degrees as we start tonight. 3-2. Walker into left center field, slicing to the left fielder Worth for out number 2.
That was one of those fastballs that he tied to Larry Walker and crowded him, preventing Walker from getting his hands out. Whenever a hitter will pull those hands in, you're really stripping him of his power, and that's what Weaver did on the 3-2 pitch to Walker.
Well, the Dodgers needed somebody they could use as their innings eater this year, and Jeff Weaver was that. Team high 220 innings pitched. The Dodgers traded Kevin Brown to get Weaver, and Brazoban, who pitches out of the bullpen and is the primary setup reliever for Eric Gagne from the right side. And the Dodgers feel they got the best of that deal. A 28-year-old right-hander should just continue to get better. 1 ball, 1 strike on Pujols.
Kevin Brown, by the way, will be the starter for the New York Yankees after that great game played in the Bronx last night. 12 innings, home run by Torture in the top of the 12th, and the Yankees scored 2 in the bottom of the 12th to win it.
And I know it shocked you that it was Jeter that scored the winning run.
My gosh.
He always finds his way into the game-winning rally and makes a good base running play more times than not to seal it for New York. Here's a 2-1. 3 balls and a strike.
In football and basketball and even in hockey, they say that guys have a nose for the ball or a nose for the puck. Talked about Gretzky like that. Well, in baseball, Derek Jeter has that nose for the ball.
Pujols on 3-1. Takes a 2-out walk. Weaver saying this Cardinal lineup reminds him of an American League lineup, like a Red Sox team or a Yankee lineup where there's just no let up. And you go from Pujols to Rolen, who bats with 2 out.
In the first game between these two teams, as Edmonds comes out on deck, it was pretty clear that the left-hander Odalis Perez was trying to crowd Scott Rolen. So if Perez did it, you can expect Weaver to do it sometime during the count.
That's off the hands, popped up foul, maybe a play out of the reach of Ross and Green. Strike 1.
A left-hander naturally, I beg your pardon, a left-hander has to be very conscientious in pitching a guy like Rolen inside. But a guy like Weaver naturally can pitch him inside because his ball runs inside.
That straight on shot of Rolen with a strike count. It's pretty close.
Yeah, Weaver, for a 6'4.5" pitcher, has very quick feet. Usually that's what determines whether a guy has a good move or not, how quick his feet are.
1 ball, 1 strike. Scott Rolen was leading the National League in RBIs when he tore a muscle in his calf in a game at Dodger Stadium, and he missed the last 3 weeks of the season for the most part. That's down toward the corner, but hooking foul. Strike 2. So he is trying to get back into game shape after sitting on the bench, trying to let that calf heal. That was one of the advantages the Cardinals had down the stretch. They could let a guy like Rolen sit there and heal, and they didn't have to press him into the lineup, risk further injury, because the division was over on the 18th of September. Here's a 1-2. Weaver with an opportunity to erase a bad memory from last year's postseason. Game 4 of the World Series, the 12th inning walk-off home run by Alex Gonzalez, the shortstop of the Marlins. On 1-2. 2-2.
And Jeff has said that he cannot get it out of his mind. That walk-off home run down at Pro Player Field in Miami. That tied the series against the Yankees. Then the Florida Marlins won the last 2 games and celebrated at Yankee Stadium.
That was close again as the throw by Weaver carried into the runner, but the tag was late. Bottom of the 12th inning, Alex Gonzalez last October did this to even the series at 2-2. That was Weaver's only appearance of the entire 2003 postseason, and to be fair to Jeff, he hadn't pitched even down the stretch for the Yankees.
That's right.
Different story this year. Ooh, where was that, says Weaver. It's a full count. Weaver's persona, and I think the perception about him, is he's a laid-back California guy. But during the course of a game, he's anything but laid back.
Yeah, Jim Tracy had an interesting comment. He said he's laid back but intense. That pitch appeared to be just a tad low.
Back-to-back walks to set up Edmonds. Edmonds hit a 3-run home run against Weaver earlier during the regular season. One of his 42 home runs. That's foul. Edmonds likes the ball up, and he loves to hit it the other way.
One of the oddest hitters in the major leagues. A lot of teams try to pitch him up. That is both his weakness and his strength. That's his home run area.
Oh, 2.
High fastball. You can come back through the course of a game and throw him that same pitch, and he'll pop it. That's what he did against Odalis Perez on Tuesday. The high fastball.
Weaver blows it by him, and the inning is over. Gets around back-to-back walks. Cardinals lead 2. 1-0 Dodgers after 1. Milton Bradley will lead it off for the Dodgers in the second. Bradley, Cora, and Ross. Anybody gets on the pitcher, Weaver. Strike 1 on Bradley. Bradley suspended the last 5 games of the regular season for that incident in right field at Dodger Stadium, the bottle throwing incident. And Bradley got into it with one of the beat reporters from the LA Times yesterday on workout day. He and Jason Reed got into it as the count goes to 2-1 from Marquis. Bradley leading off for Los Angeles. They lead by 1. That's strike 2. Chris?
I talked to Jose Lima, Joe, before the game. He considers himself a friend of Bradley's, and he said, look, I told him it's a distraction before, it's a distraction now. I'm afraid to approach him about it now. He needs anger management. He'll get it, but he hasn't gotten it yet. And he said, game, it might be acceptable. Right now, it's not.
That's out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jose Lima is the go-to guy, and he'll be the pitcher in game 3 for the Dodgers on Saturday night. Jose Lima is always ready to talk. Here's a 2-2. Bradley checked his swing, full count.
That was a terrific check swing by Bradley. 90% of major leaguers would go after this pitch. Very enticing, a slider in off the plate, and Bradley held up.
On 3-2, a leadoff walk. Good at bat by Bradley, and he's on to start the second. We have at our disposal tonight Diamond Cam, and it is a lipstick sized camera that is just outside the batter's box, peering in toward the catcher and the hitter, one on each side. And that's as big as it gets.
Teeny.
They don't even know it's there. One on with nobody out, and there's a strike to the outside corner. There are divorce lawyers across the country thinking, where do I get one of those? Cora at the plate during the regular season hit .264. Trying to get on in front of Ross, who hit .170. And 0-1. 0-2.
A lot of forensic accountants looking for a camera that small.
It's really no bigger than an inchworm. But so much technology packed into our little friend down there. No balls, 2 strikes, and Cora calls time.
You know, control is throwing a pitch off the plate when you want to. Also, on 0-2, you don't want to be, you don't want to give the hitter too good a pitch to handle.
Blocked by Matheny, who is one of, if not the best in the business at doing just that.
Best I've ever seen. In football, John Madden used to talk about the running back that squares his shoulders up. There's nobody who squares his shoulders up to block balls in the dirt better than Mike Matheny. He is the best I've ever seen at that particular trait. Outstanding defensive catcher.
Here's a 1-2. 2-2. And what has always astounded me is how he holds his glove, with really the meat part of his left hand hanging out. He's got the glove cradled by his fingers, and his hand, the bottom part of his hand, is really exposed. But he has soft hands.
Almost handles that glove like a highlight player would handle a cesta.
Here comes a 2-2 from Marquis. Hunter starts and stops, and Cora got a piece to spoil the pitch.
Bradley had a stolen base on Tuesday afternoon against the Cardinals, and you're more inclined to run with the bottom part of the order up there. It was a fake break by Bradley on that last pitch.
Another 2-2 pitch is popped up. That's going to get back and out of play.
The reason you're more inclined to run with the bottom part of the order, the last 4 guys or the last 5 guys, is the meat of your order. You don't have to run to be productive offensively. These guys are paid to hit, your 3, 4, 5 guys. And obviously when you get to the lower part of the order, they're not as good a hitters, so you move the runners and play it more of a hit and run style game than you would earlier in the order.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Dodgers lead on a Jason Worth home run in the first. Might be 2. Womack, Renteria on the Pujols, double play. That was not an easy turn by Renteria because of a wide throw by Womack.
Yeah, second baseman trying to give the shortstop a pitch to the outside of the bag. This was too far towards center field. Bradley going in hard. The runner has to touch second base. I mean, Bradley could have been called out for interference because he could not touch second base with that slide. But a moot point as Cora is turned on double play by Renteria.
Now Ross bats with the bases empty and takes the ball. So a walk followed by a double play. And a 1-0 count on Ross. Cardinals got Marquis and Ray King, who's been really as good a left-handed setup reliever as there's been this season in the National League. Got him from the Atlanta Braves. Traded Eli Marrero and J.D. Drew, who had a very good year in his first year in a Braves uniform. Answered the bell day after day, and that was something he could never do here with the Cardinals. A world of talent, and he realized a lot of that this year. 2-1 pitch. 3-1 with a pitcher next. A lot of back and forth, up and down for Marquis. Last year did not win a game with Atlanta. That's out of play, full count. Cardinals in the bottom of the second will have Renteria, Sanders, and Matheny. That'll get out of play. The Dodgers are tired of hearing about it. Dodger fans, I know, are, that the Dodgers have not won a postseason contest since the organization beat Tony La Russa's crew back in 1988 in the World Series. 3-2 pitch. Good rip by Ross.
Dodgers losing all three in the divisional series in 1995, the same the next year, and then they lost on Tuesday. Tommy Lasorda, whose last managerial stint was in 2000 at Sydney as manager of the gold medal winning American team.
Ross is making Marquis work. Telling third base coach Glenn Hoffman to turn around and pay attention. He knows from that All-Star game in Seattle, you got to pay attention, especially when Vladimir Guerrero's batting and he might lose the bat. 45th pitch already from Marquis is coming here, and this 3-2 pitch to David Ross, and we're going to have to wait a little longer.
David Ross is not your normal 8th spot hitter. He has pop. 5 home runs this year. He had a dozen last year.
Breaking ball is hit in the air to left center field. That will play. It's Sanders from left, and the Dodgers get a leadoff walk, send only 3. Renteria will try to get it going for the Cardinals in the bottom of the inning, down 1. We welcome you back to St. Louis, game 2 of this divisional series between the Cardinals and Dodgers. Bottom of the second inning. Cardinals up 1-0, but the Dodgers lead this one 1-0 on a Jason Worth home run. Breaking ball is in for a strike to Renteria. Edgar Renteria is in his final year under contract with the Cardinals. Cardinals have made offers. He has turned them down, trying to bloop one in, and that is a base hit. It gets behind the right fielder Bradley, and Milton Bradley played a single into a double.
First of all, Jeff Weaver made the pitch he wanted to make. He crowds Renteria, who stands on top of the plate. Renteria flaring the ball to right field, and again with the bottom part of the order coming up, you have a tendency as an outfielder to play it safer. Bradley didn't, and Renteria's got a double instead of a single.
His second double of the series. The first one was a rocket into the left field corner. This one a flare. Bradley trying to do too much, and now it's Reggie Sanders with a push bunt. Tough play for Cora. Safe at first.
That surprised everybody, including Alex Cora. It is a base hit, a bunt base hit for Reggie Sanders. So a team that had 5 home runs on Tuesday makes trouble for the Dodgers here in the second inning on a bunt base hit. Nicely done by Cora. The throw, however, was low, and Sean Green couldn't come up with it.
So Weaver's thinking, let me get this straight. I jam a hitter, he gets a double. Sanders, a guy who had 22 home runs during the regular season, pushes a bunt, and he's at first, and it's first and third with nobody out. Now it's the number 8 hitter, Matheny, who is a career .310 postseason hitter. He homered in game 1.
And the point is, if Bradley plays that ball a little safer than he did, then you've got a runner at first base. If Sanders elects to bunt, you bunt him to second, and then the Cardinals have to depend on the 8th and 9th hitters to get him in. That's the problem with that play Bradley made, a little too aggressive.
Just outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Matheny at the plate, dealing with Weaver. First and third, nobody out. And a check on Sanders.
Tony La Russa, a guy who loves the squeeze bunt. Normally, with nobody out, you wouldn't think about squeezing, particularly early in the game.
Two balls and a strike.
But if you do bunt here to tie, then you do have a pitcher coming up who can handle the bat. So in the process of bunting, you not only score a run, but move another one into scoring position.
A pop-up behind short. That's a big out for Weaver as Turris pulls it in, 1 down. And with first and third, 1 out, Marquis will be the hitter. What's coming up Saturday? Major League Baseball on Fox, a doubleheader. The first game will be the Yankees and the Twins. Second game will be the Cardinals and the Dodgers. That'll be game 3 in this series. That is Saturday at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific. That's when the doubleheader begins. The day game, late afternoon game, the Yankees and Twins game 4. The night game, the Cardinals and Dodgers in Los Angeles. Marquis drove home 9 runs during the regular season. Had 21 hits. Led all pitchers in that category and was number 2 in the RBI department.
Yeah, Jeff Weaver stepping off, trying to get Marquis to commit. I don't think there's any way he's bunting here. Too good a hitter.
There have been a couple of times this season where Tony La Russa has had Matheny bunt runners into scoring position for Marquis. So forget the bunt. Breaking ball for strike 1. A double, a bunt single, a pop-up. And that gets away from Green. In to score is the tying run, Renteria. That'll be an error. Green very lackadaisical taking that throw from Weaver.
Yeah, Joey had to cross over. Left-handed throwing first baseman crossing over into the runner. I think it's going to be a throwing error on Jeff Weaver. The point is, why throw over there? You've got the pitcher hitting. I beg your pardon, he did not cross over. That was the glove hand And after further review, I think it should be an error on Shawn Green.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you're right. But I mean, why throw over there anyway? You've got the pitcher hitting. Sanders isn't going anywhere.
Marquis, strike 2. They've given the error to the pitcher, but there wasn't much wrong with that throw over to first by Weaver.
No. Ball probably sailed on him a little bit and into the runner.
Runner at second, 1 out. Tie game now. And a ball to Marquis.
Yeah, that is a throw that Shawn Green's got to come up with. I think the overriding point is, why even take a chance anyway with a runner at third base?
Marquis pops it up right at home plate. David Ross for out number 2. Well, so much of that stuff now is called from the dugout, and you wonder, and we won't know, you never know for sure even after the game, if you get the truth, whether that was Weaver doing that on his own or he was told to do it by the bench.
I think he did it on his own, and the reason I say that is because of the reaction of Jim Tracy after Green missed the ball. Tracy looked very upset, and it's not the type of thing that a manager would be upset at himself with if he called it.
So now it's a runner at second, 2 out, and Tony Womack, who drove home 38 runs during the regular season, is at the plate. Ball 1. Scouts who see Weaver pitch these days say he is throwing harder than ever, and you can hear the mitt pop when he brings home these fastballs. Down the stretch, Jeff Weaver pitched in some very important games for the Dodgers, and down the stretch he struggled. Last 6 starts he went 1-3. Allowed 6 home runs along the way. He's got to challenge Womack on 2-0 with Walker on deck. And Womack pops it up right side. Foul ball and out of play. 2-1.
Even though that pitch was a strike, it wasn't the type of strike that Tony Womack should be swinging at 2-0. Both leadoff batters, Turris and Womack, are guys that want to hit the ball on the ground. Turris with a lot of singles, the same with Tony Womack. And sometimes the little guys become infatuated with their power. Tony's not going to hit the ball out of the park. The Cardinals need a hit, and Mitchell Page knows that. He's the Cardinal hitting instructor.
2-1. 3-1. The kettle is at the plate. The fire is on deck. At 3-1. Full count. This would definitely be in the category of a cheap run. The Cardinals have scored here in the second to tie the game, and now they have a chance with Womack up to take the lead. Into right field. Bradley is back on the run. Can't get it. Over his head. 2-1 St. Louis, and Womack will end up at third. The little guy just hit it a long way.
He really did. Well, he got this ball down more. That ball down and in. Those 2 he fouled off were up around his eyes. And Tony drives it. His first hit of the series. And a big one for the Cardinals.
An easy triple. Pitch down and in. Womack shot it to the wall and right. Cardinals lead 2-1, and Jim Colborn is out to talk to Weaver with Walker coming up.
That area on any hitter, in my view, is the most prolific area to pitch to any hitter. It makes a little man a big man when you pitch him down and in. And Tony Womack proved that adage true one more time.
Here's Walker. Runner at third, 2 down. That's a fair ball. 3-1 St. Louis, and Walker will dig for second and make it.
Walker looking for a ball to pull, and he gets one just inside the line at first base. Diving for it is Sean Green. He can't come up with it. And the Cardinals extend their lead.
And now from Walker, you get Pujols. Walked his first time up. Breaking ball for a strike. Walker has made some splash with his Cardinal team. Picked up in August after the trading deadline from Colorado. He hit 2 home runs in game 1. A second chance at postseason play. He has an RBI tonight as Pujols falls into the hole 0-2.
Joe, during the last 2 weeks, Jack LaLanne, the famous Jack LaLanne, has turned 90. And thinking about his body, it's like the Cardinal lineup. No soft spots at 90 years old.
The Jack LaLanne reference. Runner at second, 2 out, no balls, 2 strikes. Pujols fights it off. Three extra base hits in the inning for St. Louis. A 3-run second. And how Ross came up with that, I have no idea.
What a great play. We talked about Matheny and how he squares up. Sometimes a catcher can't do that. Watch this play by David Ross. Brilliant.
That keeps Walker at second base. He's here with 2 out. That will not keep Walker at second base. He's at third. The wild pitch puts another run 90 feet away.
That's a curveball. And David Ross cannot come up with it. He doesn't approach that ball properly. Tried to backhand it and hit the heel of the glove, and Walker's at third.
123 RBIs during the regular season for Pujols. 2 for 4 in this series to this point.
If you're a hitter, you can guess he's thrown one wild pitch and another one that was almost a wild pitch. I don't think he's going to throw a curveball here. Fastball inside or away to Pujols.
Up and away, and it's 3-2.
He's too skittish to throw a breaking ball.
Weaver has some odd mood swings during the course of the game.
No question about it. That's been the label and the right label on Jeff Weaver.
That intensity from time to time can work against him. Pujols stays alive as he spoils a nasty breaking ball. We saw Weaver pitch in a game at Boston where things didn't go right behind him, and looked like he mentally checked himself out of the game while he was still out on the mound as Wilson Alvarez, the lefty, gets loose for the Dodgers. Not a well-played inning behind him. Cardinals lead 3-1. Pujols grounds to short as Turris guides it across, and that'll do it for the Cardinals in the second. They get 3 runs. An error in the inning. 3-1. The two pitchers hook up here to start the third inning. 3-1. St. Louis on top, and Weaver takes a strike. Weaver's got that odd look about him again.
Things certainly became unraveled in the bottom of the second inning. Misplayed ball. Actually, a ball that was played from a single to a double. And then the bunt by Sanders. And then the error. And then the Womack triple and Walker double.
One ball, 2 strikes to Weaver, who during the regular season had 15 hits and 70 at bats. Still 1-2. Back to the top of the order is Turris, and Worth will follow. That's wide. 2-2. Outfield is shallow. They play Weaver around to the right. The 2-2 for Marquis. Up the middle. Renteria throws and got it. Weaver hustling down the line was beaten by half a step. 1 out in the third inning. Here's the Dodger manager Jim Tracy talking about the potential of a slugfest with the Cardinals.
We do not want to get into a slugfest with this club because we are not as well equipped, and we're going to come up on the short end if we end up getting and putting ourselves into a position where we're going to have to try to outslug the other team. Won't work.
Right now they trail 3-1 in the third inning as Weaver makes his way back to the dugout, grounding out to start. And here comes Caesar as Turris. Jim Tracy has been around. A guy who has held a number of jobs, many different professions, one level after another along the minor league ladder. A guy who learned from Felipe Alou, one of the game's best, as his bench coach in Montreal, and a couple of years with Davey Johnson with the Dodgers before taking over. 0-2 on his Turris.
Jim Tracy, a man who finished his major league playing career back in '82. Then he went to Japan for a couple of years. And then, as Jim will tell you, there were lean years from '84 until 1987 when he took over a minor league managing job. One year he even had a paper route. Odd jobs, working in the evening to make ends meet.
2 pitch as Turris stays alive. Caesar got into a pretty good battle with Marquis in the first inning and eventually flied out to center. With 1 out and nobody on as Turris pops it up. That'll stay in play for Roland. 2 out, third inning. You can play Hit the Pros, presented by the all-new GMC Canyon, and face real pitches from today's best hurlers. Log on to foxsports.com, keyword games. GMC, we are professional grade. The 2 out, nobody on. The man who was accounted for the only Dodger run tonight, Jason Worth, with his first inning home run, digs in. 3rd home run he's hit against Cardinal pitching this season, and an average against the Cardinals of better than .430. Strike 1. Back in the first. He knew it. Takes low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Worth was a pickup from the Toronto organization, and he really has blossomed with the Dodgers and filled a role. He needed somebody to fill out that outfield.
He's really playing with a lot of confidence too, Joe. You can see it in his body language. He is ready to hit.
The Dodgers have done well when Worth has been in their lineup. With him, their winning percentage much better than without. That'll help job security. 2-1 pitch. 3-1 with Finley on deck. With 2 out and the base is empty. 3-1 pitch is low. A 2-out walk. 2nd walk handed out by Marquis tonight. We'll see if the Dodgers can turn that into something. Here's Finley, a guy who had one of his best seasons ever. 36 home runs, 94 RBIs. They hold against Worth at first. 2 out in the inning. And ball 1 to Finley.
Steve Finley's grand slam home run on Saturday against the San Francisco Giants clinched it for the Dodgers. Hitless in these 2 games. 0 for 5. Steve looking to tie it right here.
Dodgers need a pop from somebody. Two 2-0. Back on Saturday. This did it. That clinched the division. A 7-run 9th inning. Talk about a grand way to finish off a divisional neck-and-neck race with the Giants. One of the 53 come-from-behind wins for the Dodgers this season, and one of their 26 that they pulled off in their final at-bat. 3-0 on Finley with the dangerous Adrian Beltre next. Since the trade from the Diamondbacks, 13 home runs in 58 games.
I think Jim Tracy will turn him loose if he gets something down and in. He will be hacking.
Too far down and in. Back-to-back walks with 2 out. And who else would the Dodgers want to have coming to the plate than Adrian Beltre? As Dave Duncan, pitching coach for Tony La Russa, heads out to talk. Beltre singled into left field his first time up. Fox NFL Sunday. Those are the early games. A big one between the Giants and the Cowboys. Rams at Seahawks. Panthers at the Broncos. Now with 2 on, 2 out. Here's a chance for Los Angeles. The guy who led the major leagues in home runs with 48. 4th in the league with a .334 average. And 4th in RBIs with 121. Adrian Beltre. Strike 1. Ball 1 strike. We heard from Jim Tracy at the beginning of the inning about not wanting to get into a slugfest, but he's in a spot where he has to get some runs, and he has the guy at the plate that accomplished this during the regular season. His National League ranks on the right. 2 on, 2 out, down by 2 in the third. Popped up right side. Pujols gives it a look. And the Dodgers wondering if it's going to be that kind of a night in St. Louis. Couple of missed plays in the bottom of the second. That ball stays playable. And now the Cardinals have Rolen set to lead it off in the bottom of the third. Up by first pitch is inside. We're underway in the bottom of the third. Scott Rolen at the plate. The year for Rolen, first time he hit better than 300 in his big league career. Takes a strike on the outside corner. Scott walked his first time up. Rolen, then Edmonds, then Renteria.
Jeff Weaver is not the type of pitcher that has a tight slider, but more of a sweeping slider. It breaks parallel to the ground. That was a fastball there. But his slider is one that right-handed hitters in particular talk about. It keeps going away from when it's vintage slider.
He has Rolen set up at 1-2. 2-2.
That was it right there. That's the tighter variety.
Do I sense a scooter coming on?
You do? And you're right. That slider missing outside.
The 2-2. That's back toward us.
Let Scooter explain the slider. Scooter.
What's up? Scooter here. A slider looks just like a fastball, but at the last second slides away. Pretty tricky, huh? Strike 1, strike 2, strike 3. You are out.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And Rolen lines it into center right at Finley. 1 out. Good to see you and Scooter so tight.
Scooter and I are tight.
I sense a better relationship than when I left to go to the football. Here's Edmonds. 42 home runs during the regular season. 6th best in the National League with 111 RBIs. That'll play for out number 2. Worth is coming on. 2 down.
A guy who was just a little motor scooter, 8 or 9 years old, used to watch his dad playing dominoes with Al Lopez. Al Lopez, who managed the Cleveland Indians and the Chicago White Sox back in the 50s. The only manager who stopped Casey Stengels 12 years as a winning manager from 49 through 1960. The only guy who could beat Stengel and the Yankees was Al Lopez. He did it in 1954 with Cleveland, and then the Go-Go White Sox in 59. But Tony was telling us before the game in Ybor City, Florida, right outside Tampa, watching his dad and Al Lopez playing dominoes.
It's high and tight. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tony, for my money, is about the most misunderstood guy managing any team across baseball. 2 out, nobody on. Renteria hits it in the air to right center field. Finley going to get it. The inning is over. We'll talk more about Tony in the 4th. Going there with Marquis back to the hill. These guys are coming up. 3-1 Cardinals. The division series on Fox brought to you by Budweiser. Grab a cold, fresh Budweiser. It's game time. We move into the 4th inning. 3-1, St. Louis still on top. And for the Dodgers, after they missed that chance in the 3rd inning with back-to-back walks to Worth and Finley, Beltre fouled out. It'll be Green, Bradley, and Cora against Jason Marquis. Breaking ball is in for a strike to Green, who so far is 0 for 5 in this series. Leading off the inning, Green takes the ball low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Marquis is up to the 70 pitch mark. So not too economical with his pitches so far tonight. That's low again, 2-1. But each side, because of the amount of rest that they've had coming into the series and then with an off day yesterday and playing a night game tonight, deep and well-rested bullpens for each manager. 2-1 pitch. 2-2.
Off day tomorrow, and then these two teams will meet at Dodger Stadium on Saturday evening. 8 o'clock Eastern time. Matt Mara starting for the Cardinals.
Jose Lima will be pitching for the Dodgers. Here's a 2-2 pitch to Green. Full count. Lima, a guy who was a non-roster invitee to spring training, worked his way into one of the more dependable starters for Los Angeles this year. Green hits it into right field, and that is long gone. Sean Green has made this a 1-run game. First career postseason home run for Sean Green. He hit 28 during the regular season, and it's 3-2.
The Dodgers needed pop from their big guy, and they got it. A high fastball, but not for long. Remember, we said earlier that Tony La Russa this spring told his pitchers, if you miss down. Make sure your mistakes are out of the strike zone down. That was a high fastball. Goodbye. Adios.
Jose Lima with his reaction. Lima going the more visible way down to congratulate Sean Green. So the first career postseason home run for Green. Lima would like to make that walk again as Bradley leans away from ball 1 high. Bradley hit 19 home runs. In spring training, when the Dodgers went out and got Bradley, they did it in large part because they weren't sure what they had with Beltre. Beltre was moved down into the number 7 spot. Beltre is playing in his contract year. He'll be a free agent next year, and he lit it up. Beltre is the established cleanup man, and now tonight Bradley batting the number 6 spot. 2-2 pitch. Full count. And Marquis is not too sharp.
Nope.
Nobody on or out. Bradley fouls it. Interesting series so far across baseball in this divisional round. Red Sox took 2 from the Angels out in California. As Bradley fouls yet another. The Braves tied their series with an extra inning win on a home run by Furcal this afternoon. Really this evening by the time it ended. And the Yankees in the 12th inning came back to beat Minnesota to even that series at a game apiece, going to the Twin Cities. Another 3-2 pitch to Bradley. That's ripped into right field, back to back, and it's a 3-3 game. That ball is hit about as far as you'll see a ball hit here at Busch Stadium. It hit fittingly off that Boeing billboard in right center field to tie it at 3. That thing was crushed.
Oh. We're going to take you back to our scouting report at the beginning of the game. Remember the first point? Make your mistakes down. The last 2 pitches to tie the ball game. First by Sean Green. Where was it? Up in the zone. High fastball, home run. Bradley, high fastball, home run. And this game's tied.
That ball, they used to talk, and they will talk about the history of this ballpark, about a Darryl Strawberry home run that hit the clock out off that right center field scoreboard. The digital clock. Bradley hit one above that spot off the billboard.
That takes me back to a ball hit by Willie McCovey back in 1966, the first year of this ballpark. That was hit about 10 feet to the right of that. Cardinal broadcaster Mike Shannon remembers that home run. I do too. I called it. Hanging curveball from Alvin Jackson.
He had a mask, not a headset on.
Right.
Cora flied out to left, and David Ross, the number 8 hitter, will step to the plate. New life for the Dodgers, exactly what they needed. 3 home runs tonight. Worth, Green, and Bradley. And it's 3-3. Hits are even at 4 apiece. Ball 1 low. Two and 0.
Gosh, was that ball hit a long way. Another counting.
Here's a 2-0 to Ross. 3-0. Cal Eldred, a right-hander, is getting loose for St. Louis in their bullpen, and he's getting loose in a hurry. Here's a 3-0 to Ross. 3-1. So Marquis, who struggled down the stretch in September, it's carried over into October. And he issues another walk, his 4th of the night. And that gives Weaver a chance to bunt. First it was Green leading off the inning. 2 3-2 counts and 2 gargantuan home runs to right. 2
powerful left-handed hitters who got a predictable pitch from Marquis.
Weaver spun out of there. And Marquis right now doesn't know where it's going.
Tony La Russa looking around in the Cardinal dugout to see if Cal Eldred is ready. You don't want to bring a pitcher in a bunting situation, but I think Tony La Russa is going to tell Mike Matheny to go out and talk to Marquis. He may be gone, giving Eldred several more tosses in the bullpen. Here comes La Russa.
So that's it. Second visit of the inning. The Cardinals have to dip into their bullpen in the 4th. Marquis gives up 2 homers in the inning, and it's 3-3. Well, we welcome you back. We're in the 4th inning, and the Cardinals already have to go into their bullpen. It's Cal Eldred as Marquis. You talked about it in the scouting report. If you're going to miss down. He missed up, and they were up and out.
And the Dodgers have tied this ball game. And it's very interesting. Most managers in bunting situations don't want to bring in a new pitcher, but that's what the Cardinals and Tony La Russa have done right now.
Well, it looked at the very end like Marquis would let it go, and he had no idea where it was headed.
You're right.
He almost hit Weaver with the first pitch, and Weaver's up there ready to give an out. As he's going to try to bunt the go-ahead run down to second base. The runner is Ross. The numbers for Eldred during the regular season. Got off to a rocky start, but came on around the middle of the season.
Reason you don't like to bring in a pitcher in a bunting situation is he may have to field the bunt. His arm's loose, but nothing else. So it's good strategy with that in mind to bunt it right back to the pitcher right now.
Here's a 1-1. In the air, and Pujols will make the easy play. 2 outs. Runner stays at first for his tourist. Weeknights on FSN. It's the greatest nightly sports show on television. The best damn sports show, period. Scheduled to appear this week, Terry Bradshaw gives us his NFL weekend preview and gets the surprise of his life. Plus actor Billy Bob Thornton and much more. Best damn sports show, period. Weeknights only on FSN. With 2 out, the runner at first. His tourist digs in. Thornton, who will be on that show, grew up a die-hard Cardinal fan from Arkansas. Guy who followed this team as a kid and still does, and is fantastic in Friday Night Lights, which I got a chance to get a sneak preview. It's great. The numbers for Marquis, who is still responsible for the runner at first. As Turris takes the ball. Cardinals in the bottom of this 4th will have the bottom 3: Sanders, Matheny, and then the pitcher spot. A 1-1. Ross was on his toes and ready to go down to second if that ball got further away from Matheny, but he kept it close. It's 2-1. Because the pitcher spot is due up 3rd, the bottom of the 4th, depending on what's going on, the Cardinals have Danny Herron getting loose. Typically a starter. Needs a little extra time to get loose. Right now, the Dodgers are trying to make some more noise in the top of the 4th, and the count's 3-1 with Worth on deck. Weaver couldn't advance the runner. Popped up trying to bunt. 3-1 pitch. Full count. Runner goes. 3-2 pitch. He'll have to come back. This is such a big inning for the Dodgers here in the 4th. You got the feeling with the way the Cardinals took the lead and what happened in Game 1, the 5 home runs. We heard from Jim Tracy not wanting to get into a slugfest. The Dodgers, a team that's hit 3 home runs tonight, and they've come back to tie it. They want more. 3-2 pitch. Runner goes, and it's 2 on, 2 out for Worth. Jason Worth walks in. He has homered and walked, and he has owned Cardinal pitching in 2004. Dodgers had 2 on with 2 out in the 3rd inning, and Beltre fouled out. They have a chance here to take the lead. Ball 1. Two on with 2 out. 1-0 pitch. Not close. 2-0. And this crowd is starting to groan.
Tough situation for the Cardinals. You're behind 2-0 to a power hitter. Man has already homered tonight, and no left-hander warming up with Steve Finley on deck.
The 2-0 pitch is low. It's 3-0. Against the Cardinals this season, a guy who's standing there with a 3-0 count, 7 games of 4.55 average. 3 home runs. 2 on, 2 out. On the outside corner, 3-1. Confident hitter at the plate takes a walk, and the bases are loaded for Finley. Third walk of the inning. Now Dave Duncan's going to pay another visit.
And we showed it earlier 5 days ago. Steve Finley with a grand slam home run. The Dodger Stadium to clinch it for the Dodgers. As Joe said, a 7-run 9th inning. Dodgers trailing 3-0 in that game to the San Francisco Giants. And in the bottom of the 9th, Finley with a grand salami. Here he is, and the Dodgers love this matchup right now. Finley hitless in the series against a struggling Cal Eldred. Struggling to find the strike zone.
Highest career average with runners in scoring position among active players. During the postseason, this guy's hit .375. What a chance for the Dodgers here in the 4th inning. They've already tied it. Ball 1. Ross is Turris and Worth. Ball 2.
Struggling like that. He's walked 2 in a row. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Finley's got to get a fastball right here. Eldred can't be too fine with the fastball because his control's not that good.
Not even close, and it's 3-0 as Eldred is on the verge of walking home the go-ahead run. Now Finley will be sitting on a pitch. Even if Eldred were to throw a strike, make it 3-1, Finley, who hit 36 home runs during the regular season, takes a strike. He was taking all the way, and now he'll rip. Full count.
Finley not cheated on this fastball.
Runners will go. Into center field. Cal Eldred went to the edge, but keeps it a 3-3 game. 2 homers in the inning for the Dodgers, but a missed opportunity to take the lead. It's 3-3. Jeff Weaver and the Dodgers back where they started, even with the Cardinals, a 3-3 game. You know, Weaver was hoping for a blast from Finley. Ended up flying into center as Eldred came back from a 3-0 count with the bases loaded to keep it 3-3. And here's Reggie Sanders first up in the 4th inning. Breaking ball, foul ball, strike 1. Sanders with a bunt base hit in the 3-run 2nd inning. Eventually scored a run on an RBI triple by Womack. One ball, one strike from Weaver. Coming up on 9 o'clock straight up here in St. Louis. Joe Buck, Tim McCarver, Jeff Gowen, Jim Lynch, our producer and director for tonight's game. We are in the 4th inning. The bottom half. Cardinals up 1-0. A 3-3 score. Good pitch by Weaver. Up and in on Sanders. 1-2. The Cardinals fell behind 1-0 on a Worth home run in the first. Got 3 runs in the second, helped out by an error by Weaver on a pickoff throw to first. The Dodgers just came back to tie it with blasts by Green and Bradley in the top of this 4th inning. So a 3-homer night for the Dodgers after the Cardinals hit 5 home runs in game 1. 2-2 on Sanders. Sanders with 22 home runs during the regular season. 7 years, 7 different organizations for Reggie Sanders. So the first thing you think, well, he must be a bad guy. That couldn't be further from the truth.
Au contraire.
His teammates love him. They've loved him every stop of the way, and he finally signed a 2-year deal to join the Cardinals. And he had a very solid first year. Helped the Diamondbacks win the World Series in 2001. The 2-2 to Sanders. Left side in the hole is Turris. Safe. Sanders hustling all the way, and he beat the throw from Caesar as Turris.
It's very difficult for those who play the left side of the infield to determine whether they have to charge the ball or not. Often, when a shortstop has to go to his right, he has to throw in one motion. That little delay by his Turris right there. Infield hit for Sanders.
Now with Aaron loose and ready to go in the bullpen. A pinch hitter in the on-deck circle. Matheny is up there to bunt.
You'll see a bunt right here, no question. Up to 2 strikes.
Beltre still back at third. He's not convinced that Matheny is going to bunt. To the right side, it's a perfect bunt. Weaver flips for the out. The sacrifice is good. 1-4, and down to second is Sanders with 1 out. Go for an update. Check in with Jeannie Zelasco.
Well, Joe, as you've talked about earlier, Jeff Weaver has yet to shake the nightmare of that postseason walk-off home run. Well, now Houston's Dan Maselli can relay it. Rafael Paul gets the Braves' first postseason walk-off since 1957, ties the divisional series. Saturday, more great moments, no doubt. Game 4 of the ALDS between the Yankees and Twins. Drama continues at the all-new Dodge pregame show here on Fox 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific. We're ready for you.
All right, Jeannie, thanks. And now with Marlon Anderson digging in, batting for Eldred. Sanders is at second with 1 out. Anderson was a candidate to start in this game because he has had success against Weaver. Loves to go after the first pitch, strike 1.
He's also had success as a pinch hitter this year. 3 home runs and a .333 average. Normally with 1 out, it's a good time to test stealing third base. However, with the left-handed hitter up there, not as good an idea because the catcher has a clear shot to third, as you can see. Setting up inside, back in there.
And on the corner for strike 2. Eldred is finished 2/3 of an inning. No runs, no hits, 2 walks, no strikeouts. Marlon Anderson backed up at 0-2. Good work by Weaver to strike out the pinch hitter Marlon Anderson. During our last break, we had a chance to visit with Cardinal manager Tony La Russa. Tony La Russa, nice enough to join us. I know you didn't expect you'd have to go to your bullpen this early. Fourth inning, what'd you see from Marquis?
Well, I think it's been the same for both pitchers. You know, both offenses are making them work a lot of extra pitches. You know, then Jason just was off and getting worse, and it's not going to get better, especially in a situation like this. So Cal got us out of the inning. We'll go to Herron next inning.
Tony, if you do go on and win this ball game, you'll look back on that Finley at bat as a big one.
Well, that had a chance to be a blow open at bat, so let's hope that that was a key for us.
Tony, thanks for the time. So we heard that Herron is coming in. We have verification of that now with Anderson pinch hitting, striking out, and now it's Womack who has an RBI triple and a run scored tonight. The Cardinals this season, you know, you talk about the big bats of Walker, Pujols, Rolen, Edmonds, Renteria, and even Sanders. But Womack is the guy who's made this offense work for Tony La Russa getting on base. Only 19 times this year did he fail to reach base. And when he did, the Cardinals were 77 and 29 when he reached base. He's done that here tonight. And he spoils an 0-2 pitch from Weaver. Cardinals got Womack late in spring training from the Red Sox for a minor league pitcher. Womack was coming off Tommy John surgery, had that ligament replaced in his throwing elbow. The word was he wasn't going to be ready until May. And he came to the Cardinals, started playing, was in the opening day lineup, and really hasn't stopped since.
Tony, Womack is a winner, and nobody knows that any better than the Cardinals. It was Womack who had the hit off Steve Klein to win Game 5 of the ALDS in 2001. And then the key hit off Mariano Rivera in the 9th inning to help the Diamondbacks win the World Series.
Breaking ball got him on the outside corner. Weaver strikes out 2 in the inning. Back after this from your local Fox station. Already the third pitcher of the night for the Cardinals. 5th inning now, a 3-3 game, and Dan Herron, who just turned 24, spent the bulk of the season at AAA Memphis, where he led the Pacific Coast League with 150 strikeouts and was 11-4, is into the game.
Signed by the Cardinals 3 years ago out of Pepperdine University, right down the road from Dodger Stadium.
The guy the Cardinals may count on next year to be one of their 5 starters. But right now the Cardinals ask him for long middle relief. And he deals with Beltre and falls behind 2-0. There are 2 potential free agents, Matt Morris and Woody Williams. A 2-0 to Beltre. He was looking to hammer. It's 2-1.
When you foul a ball off and you go down on your right knee, that means you've had a good swing. Beltre just coming uncoiled. Just leave your feet, Adrian. He did.
Here's a 2-1 pitch from Herron. 2-2. It'll be Beltre, then Green, who's homered, and Bradley, who's homered. Those 2 homers last inning more than anything chased the starter Marquis. Beltre has gone 1 out.
Evening the count on Beltre gave Herron a chance to use the slider. So after 4 fastballs, Beltre down on a good slider away.
With 1 out, here's Green. Strike 1. In the 4th inning, a no doubt shot to right. Bettered by the next guy up. 1 ball, 1 strike from Danny Herron.
Used to be that split finger fastball was reserved for older pitchers trying to find a new look. Now more and more young pitchers are assigned, and they have split finger fastballs, and Herron's got a good one.
Green with a count 2-1. Nickname is Gumby. And Gumby likes listening to Metallica.
I'll tell you, if my nickname were Gumby, I'd change it. I don't think I'd like that as a nickname.
You wouldn't?
No.
Pokey. The 2-2. Green hits it to first for Pujols. 2 out. Let us give you our Budweiser Fantasy Player of the Week. Division Series Game 1 at Atlanta. Carlos Beltran. Just listen to the music, actually. Earth, Wind, and Fire in the background. You can log on to foxsports.com. Keyword Fantasy Baseball. Today's game brought to you by Budweiser. Grab a cold, fresh Budweiser. It's game time. Here is Bradley. Ball 1. Bradley has walked and hit a home run that traveled over 460 feet into right center field. Well, he's getting swings. That's down into the corner, and now they're going to call a ground rule double. Bradley is being alerted to the fact that he can go down to second base, and he is there with 2 out. Let's go back to the home run as Bradley launched on a 3-2 pitch. Oh.
I think on that swing, Milton Bradley popped a hamstring. Going over to third base, Coach Glenn Hoffman. Sometimes you'll do that with a swing. You extend the back of the leg, that back leg, and with him representing such an important run, the Dodgers may be forced to make a move right here.
He also had a little funny extra step before he took the swing.
As you turn on that, I think the pitch was a breaking ball or a splitter. And sometimes when you turn on that ball inside, you're extending that left leg. And Milton looked like he extended that left leg and popped that left string. But on a play to the outfield, that could be very costly. But the Dodgers and Jim Tracy are leaving him in the ballgame.
Beginning this weekend, Oscar De La Hoya and the next great champ are moving to the new home on FSN. It all starts this weekend with an encore presentation of the first 4 shows and continues next weekend with a brand new episode. The next great champ is now only on FSN. A strike is into Alex Cora. The go-ahead run at second and 2 out.
Isn't it funny how that is one injury that boxers never have? Hamstring injuries. Ever.
At least they're not reported.
Yeah, you're not reported. You never hear of a boxer with a hamstring injury.
Here's an 0-1. That just missed. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bradley was able to kick that left leg up and touch his hand above his head. Just hurts to watch. But he's okay to continue as the count goes to 2-1. Still trying to stretch out the left hamstring. Cora drove in 47 runs during the regular season. The Cardinal bench is giving it to home plate umpire Greg Gibson. See the damage he did with 2 out, runner in scoring position. Great average. 2-2. Look at this. Oh. He hopes to test that hamstring. get a chance to run to the plate. Cora trying to drive him in with 2 out in the 5th. 2-2 pitch. Got it. The 24-year-old skips off the mound. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Still tied at 3. Jeff Weaver will be tested in this bottom of the 5th. A 3-3 game. The 2, 3, and 4 hitters for St. Louis. Walker, Pujols, and Rolen. Ball 1. Walker an RBI double tonight, 1 for 2. And that hits him on the leg to start the inning.
Often hitters will wear that protective padding on their right ankle. And I was going to say it looked like that hit him on the ankle, but it hit him just above the knee. Larry appears to be all right.
I think the reason why you thought it did like I did is that he didn't flinch.
No, I know. That thing right in the belly of the outside of the muscle on the right leg.
Leadoff man is on for St. Louis, and Walker draws a throw. Cardinals put their leadoff man on in the 4th inning. A hit by Sanders, a bunt by Matheny, but Anderson and Womack struck out. The opposite way and through Cora into right. And it's 2 on with nobody out.
That ball was scalded, and in between hop, Larry Walker had to hold up to see if it was going to be caught in the air. And Alex Cora, a terrific second baseman, is just handcuffed on this low tracer by Albert Pujols, and it is a base hit. Should have been. You can see Bradley still favoring that left leg, almost like a hop before he went after the ball.
Well, the numbers for Pujols during his 4-year big league career are staggering. This group, the 3, 4, and 5 hitters for St. Louis, in 2004, the trio drove home 358 runs. Since 1900, that's the 2nd best trio in Cardinal franchise history. Rolen had 124 of them. That's into center field. Finley coming on, and a huge out for the Dodgers and Jeff Weaver. 2 on, 1 out, and Edmonds coming up. Edmonds tonight is struck out and fly to left.
Remember, we talked earlier about the fact that Jim Edmonds, his strength is also his weakness. He's one of the more unusual hitters in Major League Baseball. He has that uppercut swing, and you can get him out if you throw the shoulder-high fastball. But he can also hit that pitch out. So it'll be interesting to see how the Dodgers work him right here.
Edmonds yelling at himself after missing that breaking ball from Weaver. And when I say miss it, I know he fouled it, but he missed crushing this pitch.
Yeah, that was a real hanger right in the middle of the plate, about mid-thigh high.
Weaver with 2 on, 1 out. 0-2 on Edmonds as he brought it in up, and Edmonds fouled it away.
It's also an odd situation. I mean, you want the double play ball. Edmonds, however, is not a ground ball hitter. So I think the Dodgers more inclined to, obviously, you take the double play, but you're going after the strikeout.
0-2.
Ross and Weaver making sure. The way they've worked him in this game and the way most National League teams work Edmonds, I would think that he'll go back to the high fastball, at least for a couple of pitches before they try the breaking ball again.
Two on with one out, no balls, 2 strikes on Edmonds. Tie game in the 5th. 1-2.
Boy, that's a dangerous pitch right there. Fortunately, out of the strike zone. I don't think David Ross agreed with that pitch. I think he called for the high fastball, and Weaver wanted to throw the breaking ball. And ultimately, if you're the catcher, hey, he's the guy who's making the pitch, not you.
Down and the count's 2-2, and Weaver saying, hey, what's the deal? I didn't knock him down.
That ball wasn't even close, but Edmonds probably looking for a different pitch, looking for something away, and he got something just off the plate way high as Weaver went back to the high rider.
Now a 2-2 pitch. Got it. Good movement on that pitch from Weaver. 2 out.
Edmonds missed the first pitch, the hanging breaking ball, and was miffed. Then Weaver went to the high rider, and he misses with a breaking ball, knocks Edmonds down, and gets him with a high fastball that came back. Fine pitching job by Jeff Weaver.
There's the night for Weaver. He has struck out Edmonds in 2 key spots. With 2 on and 2 out in the 1st, and with 2 on and 1 out here in the 5th. Now it's 2 on, 2 out for Renteria. Ball 1. Edgar Renteria has had a flair for the dramatic, been a clutch hitter, whether it's been for the Cardinals or for the Marlins in '97, winning the World Series over the Indians. Two and 0. Igor, his nickname, the 2-0 pitch. Into center field, a base hit. Here comes Walker, no play at the plate, 4-3 St. Louis. Igor delivers with 2 out.
Yes, master. Hanging breaking ball to Renteria on a 2-0 count. Right in the middle of the plate. And Joe mentioned it, a flair for the dramatic and a big hit for the Cardinals here in the 5th.
Now it'll be Sanders with action for the Dodgers in their bullpen.
Yeah, I don't know about you. It seems like Jeff Weaver's thrown 400 pitches out there tonight.
He's just now trying to get through the 5th. He's made some good pitches. But he just hung one to Renteria. And now Sanders gets hit on the hand. The hand or the wrist?
And everybody booing here in St. Louis, but there is no way that Jeff Weaver intentionally hit Reggie Sanders. I mean, you have to pitch him up and in, and the ball tailing up and in to, unfortunately for the Cardinals and Reggie, be hit on the left hand.
Did it catch the forearm, the wrist, or the hand?
Yeah, it was the left forearm. Right around that hammock bone. Right in the wrist area.
Jim Colborn is out to talk to Weaver. It'll be up to Matheny with the bases loaded, 2 out. Might have caught him a little lower down toward the wrist.
Now this situation, I mean, how many times have Cardinal fans seen Mike Matheny fire one in front of the right fielder in situations like this, almost feeling for the fastball away. So if you're Milton Bradley, the right fielder, you have to shade him in, particularly in lieu of the fact that Bradley has that pulled hamstring, coupled with the fact that Matheny has no power the other way. So you force him to hit the ball over your head.
Bases loaded, 2 out, 4-3 St. Louis in the 5th. Matheny 0 for 1. Into center field. That is a looping base hit. It'll score 2. 6-3.
So he doesn't loop it into right field. He loops it into center field, driving in 2 to give the Cardinals a 3-run lead.
Pitching change. Weaver is finished, and the Cardinals have their biggest lead of the night. Juan Sanchez is the new right-hander for the Dodgers. First and third, 2 out. Danny Herron at the plate for St. Louis. We're in the 5th. Cardinals lead 6-3, and Herron hits one to deep left center field. Back at the wall. It is caught to end the inning. I'm still waiting. I'm going to say it's Worth. One of those two has it. It's 6-3. The Division Series on Fox is brought to you by the new Chevrolets. 10 new cars and trucks in 20 months. An American revolution. By Rico, how well do you share? And by Coors Light, the coldest tasting beer in the world. We move into the 6th inning after this play ended the 5th in left center field.
Joe, I couldn't tell who caught the ball, but it looked like Jason Worth cutting in front of Steve Finley to make a fine play. And partner, I've got to tell everybody, right before when we were in break, you said this Herron can hit. Can he ever?
He almost got one out of here. There's a ball inside to Ross, the catcher, with a pinch hitter on deck. And then his Turris, 8-9 in 1 spot. 1 ball, 1 strike. Danny Herron, the 24-year-old, could give the Cardinals some big outs in this game. He got through the 5th. He works the 6th. 2-1. Grabowski in the on-deck circle. Weaver finished for the night. 2-1 delivery. 2-2. Ross leading off. Breaks his bat. Renteria, 1 out. Let's go down to Chris Myers.
Hey, Joe and Timmy, a jubilant but sore dugout here for the Cardinals. Hit on the left wrist. Reggie Sanders will stay in the game. They've wrapped some tape around it. He says he'll be okay. Larry Walker, who was hit right above the right knee, and I saw him on his way back out. He said, hey, I took plenty of slap shots to the shoulder playing hockey. I'm staying in. I'm not leaving this game.
Thanks, Chris. And we get a look at the replay of that ball. Drilling the right leg of Walker, who barely flinched. That started the inning, and Weaver could not get out of trouble. A hit batsman, a base hit by Pujols. And then with 2 out, an RBI hit by Renteria. Sanders hit by a pitch, and Matheny delivered a 2-out, 2-run single to center. 2-0 on Jason Grabowski, who hit .220 this season with the Dodgers, 7 home runs. Sanchez 1/3 of an inning, all zeros. Three 3-0.
Chris Myers alluding to the fact that Larry Walker, a hockey player and a good one, season ticket holder to the Colorado Avalanche.
A 1-out walk.
Excuse me, Joe. The other night we were talking about Justin Morneau when we did the Yankees and the Minnesota Twins. Larry heard that, and we were talking about Justin's hometown of New Westminster, British Columbia, and Larry telling me tonight, I grew up 15 minutes from there.
Larry is typically at this time of the year in his cabin up in British Columbia fishing with his brother and friends. They're fishing without him. And I'm sure trying as best they can to get updates on what the Cardinals are doing. Up 1-0 and leading in game 2 in the 6th inning, 6-3. Strike 1 on his Turris. Caesar 0 for 2 with a walk. Two. Aaron trying to pitch around a 1-out walk to Grabowski. His Turris now Worth on deck. That's a foul. This is October, and that means 8 teams, 1 champion. The race to the World Series is on. Catch all the action right here on Fox during the month of October. Don't miss it.
Think of the injuries in this game already. Milt Bradley going down with a hamstring pull, and now is Turris, coupled with Larry Walker and Reggie Sanders.
They hit him off the right instep. Right off the top of the right foot. As Turris says he's good enough to continue, and he awaits another 0-2 pitch. The Cardinals have Ray King getting loose in their bullpen with an eye on Steve Finley. He's in the hole. Ball 1 smothered by Matheny. Tony La Russa has 2 left-handers he can use, King and Klein.
Steve Klein more of a lefty hitter only guy, whereas Ray King, one of the more adaptable left-handers who can get right-handed hitters out.
The 1-2 to his Turris. 2 out as Caesar strikes out. For Herron, that's his 3rd strikeout. Tomorrow on ESPN, the Angels will visit Boston, take on the Red Sox, and try to win to stave off elimination. Boston up 2-0 game 3 at 4 Eastern. The Yankees at the Twins. Game 3 tomorrow night, 8 Eastern, with that series tied 1-1. Batter will be Jason Worth. something out of a horror movie. Beware the man in the scoreboard.
Igor.
Runner at first, 2 out, no balls, 1 strike on Jason Worth. 1-1.
Walk this way.
Danny Herron slows it down. Trying to pitch 2 scoreless innings in relief of Eldred, who took over for Jason Marquis. A half swing, a fly to right. Walker is there. Herron has turned in 2 scoreless. Top of the order coming up for the Cardinals. That includes Pujols. It's the bottom of the 6th inning. It's the top of the order for the Cardinals against a new pitcher, Wilson Alvarez. And the bunt is foul. Alvarez had a good year for the Dodgers. Whatever they seemed to need, Alvarez was ready to do and do it well. 40 games. He made 15 starts. Won 7 games. Bottom of the 6th inning, Womack, Walker, and Pujols will be the hitters. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Funny how this game has gone. On Tuesday, Albert Pujols starting the scoring for the Cardinals. First of 5 home runs. Tonight the Dodgers have 3 home runs and the Cardinals none. The Cardinals a 3-run lead.
Slicing into left for Worth, 1 out. Let's again check in with Chris Myers on the other side.
Yeah, Joe, it's been a physical game. Milton Bradley, the left hamstring, when he came in between innings, he stretched it out. He's okay. We'll stay in the game. And Cesar Torres fouling a ball off his right foot. He shook it off, said some aspirin will help, but he's staying in the game.
1 out, nobody on. Thanks, Chris. Larry Walker at the plate. Walker was hit by a pitch last inning, and that started a 3-run rally. All of the damage being done with 2 out, as it was in the 3rd inning of Game 1 for the Cardinals against Odalis Perez. Walker was with Colorado when they were in the division series and were taken care of by the Braves in '95. Hit only .214 during that series, and then 2 days ago became one of 3 Cardinal players ever to hit 2 home runs in 1 postseason game. Joining fan favorite Willie McGee in '82 and Ron Gant in '96. Ball 1 to Walker. It into right. That'll play for Bradley. 2 out.
Joe, since World War II ended in 1945, there have only been 3 major leaguers who have hit 45 home runs or more and batted .330 in a season. 3 of them, 3 of those 6 are in this game tonight. Pujols, Larry Walker, and Adrian Beltre.
The start for Pujols in his career. You start comparing him to the game's greatest of all time.
Amazing.
DiMaggio and Williams are the guys that he stacked up against for his first 4 years, and the only guy to hit more home runs than Pujols in his first 4 seasons was Ralph Kiner. 168 to Pujols 160. Here's a 1-0. 2-0.
Ralph enjoying the game from Palm Springs tonight. Got his feet up. Well, for the birthday in about 3 weeks on October 27th.
What are you getting?
Huh?
You getting him anything?
Call it.
With 2 out, nobody on. The 2-0 pitch from Alvarez. Popped up right at home plate for Ross. And the Cardinals go in order for only the second time tonight. 7th inning. 6-3 St. Louis. Back after this from your local Fox station. It is a 6-3 Cardinal lead, 7th inning, last third of this game. And it will be yet another pitcher for St. Louis, Ray King, who said the other day, I want to be known as the best situational lefty that ever played. He had a great year this season, a record of 5-2, an ERA of just over 2.5. Cardinal bullpen is considered a strength. The group, a combined ERA of just over 3.01 during the regular season. It's balanced, and it all leads to Isringhausen, the closer. Finley takes a strike. There's Izzy. And a look at that lineup posted out in the bullpen. Strike 2 on Finley.
It's rare to say, speaking of the bullpenners, that a guy like Eric Gagne, with all of his success, may get in a game like this, even if the Dodgers are trailing, because with the off day tomorrow, may get a tune-up for Saturday. That's unless the Dodgers can mount a comeback here in the last 3 innings.
Check swing to make it 1-2. The one dangerous part of that is that you're on the road here, and if you should come back and you are in a save situation, but you use him earlier just to get some work, you may not have him available when the save pops up.
Yeah, I get your point.
Womack to his left. Nice play. 1 out. Womack had to wait for Pujols to get to the base, and he just got there in time to turn around and get Finley for the out.
The reason for that, you could see Pujols playing deep, so Womack in effect had to hit a moving target to get Finley, and did.
Great look at that pitch from King, and then Pujols just getting there a step before Finley. 1 out, and here's Beltre. And more of what you talked about with regard to King. They don't mind King facing the right-handed hitting Beltre, and it's a luxury with a 3-run lead and the lefty Green on deck. Heart of the order for the Dodgers here in the 7th. Trying to do something about this 6-3 Cardinal lead in game 2. It's Beltre now, Green on deck, then the switch hitting Bradley. The 1-1.
Ray King just attacks right-handed hitters. Got the fastball away, the slider inside.
Right there, and Beltre got a piece of it.
And you saw what makes Ray King so successful on the last 2 pitches. Fastball away, and then that biting slider inside. See that tightly wrapped slider. I don't think there's any left-hander in the National League that attacks hitters any more than Ray King.
2 hops, Renteria. 2 out. And with the bases empty, it's Sean Green. Green came in to this game hitless in this series. He's now 1 for 7 after pounding a home run in the 4th. That led off the inning against Marquis. Then Bradley followed with a home run to tie it. But the Dodgers may have missed their chance after that, not only in this game, but maybe by the end of this in the series. They were handed walks, 3 of them in the inning after the 2 home runs, and then Eldred ran the count to 3-0 on Finley. Got strike 1, strike 2, and Finley hit a fly ball to center to end the threat. And that's been the last threat the Dodgers have put on the Cardinals. 2-0 now on Green.
That 3-1 pitch to Steve Finley. If the Dodgers lose this game, you can go back to that 3-1 pitch that he fouled back. And then Eldred made a good pitch on him, 3-2, tailing fastball. Finley flied to center, harmlessly ending the threat, and the Cardinals come up with 3 in their half, the 5th. And that's where we are right now.
2 balls and a strike on Green. Base is empty, 2 out, 2-2. King is the kind of weapon in a bullpen in October that a lot of teams are really searching for. The Yankees come to mind. 2-2 pitch. Womack to his right. Made a play to his left, and now one to his right. And it's time to stretch. The fans in St. Louis got a head start on that. 6-3 Cardinals. Major League Baseball on Fox is brought to you by Nissan and your Nissan dealer. By Emerald Nuts premium snack products available in the on-the-go shapes and sizes. By UPS, what can Brown do for you?
Folks, I have to tell you that one of the great calls in this city's history with such a rich tradition was back in 1985, Game 5 of the NLCS. And this voice that you're going to hear, very familiar to everybody.
Smith corks one into right, down the line. It may go. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy. It's a home run, and the Cardinals have won the game by the score of 3-2 on a home run by the Wizards.
You guys worked that out while I stepped out of the booth?
We did. Voice sound familiar to you?
Yes, that was Hall of Famer, my dad, Jack Buck, and a moment that people in St. Louis still talk about. And when you think about the Cardinals situation and the Dodgers, these are the 2 most decorated teams in National League history. Dodgers have been to the postseason more times than any team outside of the Yankees. The Cardinals have won the most world championships of any team in the National League with their 9. So these are 2 organizations getting together that are rich in tradition and history. You see a comparison of the 2. And while the Dodgers haven't won a postseason game since the 80s, the Cardinals haven't won a World Series since 1982.
By the way, the pitcher to Ozzie Smith that afternoon in St. Louis was Tom Niedenfuer, and I spoke with him today, and I said, Tom, he said, don't show that thing, please. Don't show that thing again. I said, look, Tom, we won't show it more than once.
Scott Rowland leading it off and takes a strike.
Tom said he understood.
Cardinals went on to lose the World Series at the hands of the Kansas City Royals. In '87, they got to the World Series and lost to the Twins. They haven't been back since. Rowland, 1 ball, 1 strike.
The thing about postseason baseball, I mean, Tom Niedenfuer carrying around that burden for 20 years. Those 2 pitches, one to Ozzie Smith and one to Jack Clark.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Not quite the onus that a guy like Bill Buckner has carried around, but it is so lucid when things happen in the postseason, both good and bad, and make it so memorable.
Alvarez misses inside. It's 2-2. Alvarez trying to keep it a 3-run game. The Cardinals have Tavares getting loose in their bullpen as we play in the bottom of the 7th. Rowland strikes out, 1 away. Good work by Alvarez so far. Our game summary is brought to you by Nissan. Weaver and Marquis, the two starters. Either one could get through 5. The Dodgers hit back-to-back home runs in the 4th. And the Cardinals in this series offensively have scored 11 of their 14 runs with 2 outs. Dodgers have missed their chances with runners in scoring position tonight. The Cardinals 5 out of 13. That's where we are. Here is Edmonds. And there's ball 1. I started to talk earlier in the game about Tony La Russa being misunderstood, and without going on about it, I think the common perception across baseball is he's this egomaniacal guy with a law degree, and after George Will's book came out calling him the genius, he's had to try to live that down ever since. But when players come to this team and get to know him, they realize that that perception is way off base. 1 out, nobody on, a 1-0 pitch. Edmonds way out in front, 1-1. There's no doubt he's intense. There's no doubt it dominates his life in the spring and the summer with his family living back in California. But he is not the guy sitting in the corner of the dugout ordering beanballs thrown by his pitcher and thinking the game's all about him. And guys like Larry Walker and Reggie Sanders have found that out this year.
Find that out once they become Cardinal players.
The 1-1 to Edmonds is on the inside corner, strike 2.
You said Tony is often misunderstood. A gentleman, and I mean that in every way, who has never been misunderstood, Vin Scully. Since 1951, the voice of the Brooklyn Dodgers and then the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Edmonds strikes out again. 3rd time that's happened tonight. Let's check in with Jeannie Zalaska.
A quick check of the calendar. Hey, Mr. October, the remix. Derek Jeter in the thick of yet another Yankee comeback, scoring on a sacrifice fly to short right field in the 12th, tying up the series. Saturday, Game 4 of the ALDS between the Yankees and Twins. You'll find it on Fox. Then the Cardinals take on the Dodgers. Game 3 of the NLDS. The drama continues Saturday, 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific, right here on Fox.
Thanks, Jeannie. Here is Renteria. Renteria's 2-out hit in the 5th inning scored Walker. That broke the 3-3 tie, and then after Sanders was hit by a pitch, the number 8 hitter Matheny knocked home 2 with a base hit. That ball will get out of play. 0-2. Well, for somebody my age, you grow up, and on a national level, the voice of Vin Scully is baseball. And when he and the NBC crew used to roll into town, he couldn't wait to watch the Saturday game of the week. Here's an 0-2 pitch. That sliced down the right side, foul. Venafro, the lefty, Carrara, the right-hander, getting loose for the Dodgers. But Alvarez is doing fine here in the 7th. Bradley, Cora, and Ross will be the hitters in the 8th. For Los Angeles, with Tavares getting loose. Renteria with another hit. Now 4 out of 6 in this series against Dodger pitching. And that's going to be it with Sanders coming up. Pitching change. Carrara coming in. We're in the 7th. America's #1 pregame show is back, and this week they break down the Giants' resurgence under Tom Coughlin. Terrell Owens spends his bye week with them in the studio, plus Redskins coach Joe Gibbs goes 10 yards with TB. He asks questions nobody else dares ask. Fox NFL Sunday this week at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, right here. We're in the bottom of the 7th, 1 on, 2 out. Giovanni Carrara is on the mound for Los Angeles. The bullpen for the Dodgers didn't pitch poorly down the stretch. The numbers were a little worse after the trade, but I think most people across baseball were shocked when Guillermo Mota was sent away from the Dodgers.
I think I was equally shocked to see the job that Yency Brazoban did in picking up Mota and becoming a very formidable setup man for Eric Gagne. Not quite what Mota was, but I think he will be in years to come.
Brazoban was the other player the Dodgers got with Jeff Weaver for Kevin Brown from the Yankees. Sanders right now is just happy that he can get to the plate after being hit the left wrist his last time up. That set up Matheny's 2-out, 2-run single. And happened in the 3-run 5th inning.
Going to be a lot of ice on a lot of body parts when the Cardinals and the Dodgers head out to Los Angeles, either late tonight or tomorrow. Last time up, hit right in the left wrist was Reggie Sanders.
0-1 the count, and a check on Renteria. The Dodgers are paying close attention to Renteria because right now would be a time to steal a base. 2 out.
Yep.
Sanders up.
Bottom part of the order.
Renteria stole 17 during the regular year. Was caught 11 times. Had a stolen base in game 1. 1 ball, 1 strike on Sanders. Alvarez goes an inning and 2/3, 1 hit, 2 strikeouts. Responsible for Renteria on at first.
Funny about pitching out with 2 strikes. Pitching out, I beg your pardon, with 2 outs. It's different to pitch out with 2 outs because the pitch on which you pitch out may be the pitch you get the hitter out with. So you have to consider pitching out. Of course, you're behind in the count. Good time to run right now if you're Renteria. No way they'll pitch out 2-1.
Not going, and Sanders fouls it back here. 2-2. You start looking at the other teams that are alive and in the postseason right now, and you just can't help but be impressed with the Boston Red Sox and that relentless offense. The way they've pitched in the first 2 games. Pedro Martinez was great last night. Schilling very good in game 1. Up 2-0 on the Angels. The Angels forced to win 3 straight to move on. The next 2 games, 1 and then 2 if necessary, are at Fenway.
And the one thing that the Boston pitchers have done, they have held down the terrifying Vladimir Guerrero, batting only .125 in the 2 games. Guerrero with the balance of Paul Hamm and the reach of Yao Ming. What a player. What a player. But has been quiet the first 2 games against the Red Sox.
Had a 2-run hit last night, but a home run by Veritek tied that game off Cologne. Here's a 2-2. Full count. Does anybody get bigger hits? Does anybody mean more to their team than Jason Veritek?
Well, it's a tough sell to think that Veritek will not be a Red Sox. We're talking about walk year. There's anybody in the big leagues that should be signed Jason Veritek with the Red Sox.
Runner will go from first. That's Renteria. 3-2 pitch. Sanders pops it straight up. Foul territory now. The wind pushes it all the way out of play. Boy, the wind grabbed a hold of that ball and threw it into the seats.
That storm to which you alluded earlier is moving in. That type of wind has not been present up until now. This ball playable in the early innings, and it drifts out of play.
Starts to cool off. There's a sign that rain is on the way. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Renteria goes, and Sanders gets a base hit to center. First and third, 2 out. And now Matheny, who has been a hitting hero as much as he has handled the pitching staff in this series against the Dodgers, stands in. Matheny with a career high 50 RBIs this season. Three RBIs in the 2 games against the Dodgers.
I think it bears repeating, Joe, that it's such a different offense tonight that we've seen from the Cardinals compared to Tuesday afternoon.
Small ball taking the extra base. Some more 2-out hits, but these have stayed in the park. First and third for Matheny. Sanders takes second base uncontested. And they do give Sanders a stolen base.
Yeah, but you can see the middle infielders not even covering, not even bothered to cover. And David Ross with a fake throw. But Renteria not biting.
Second and third, 2 out. One ball, 1 strike with a pinch hitter, Roger Cedeno, in the on-deck circle. Ray King went a perfect top of the. Got 2 good plays from Womack behind him. The end of the bat, strike 2. Bottom half of the order for the Dodgers in the 8th. It'll start with Bradley, then Cora, then Ross. But a deep bench tonight, and for the series for Jim Tracy. Got an extra player over there. The Dodgers really have only 3 starters on their roster. They left Kaz Ishii Hideo Nomo off the list. The 1-2. 2-2. Nomo watching. Dodgers down in the series and down in game 2, 6-3. Another visit.
You might be asking, well, if Nomo's not on the roster, why is he here? Well, he was working out today, and if the Dodgers do win the divisional playoff, Nomo could be added to the League Championship Series.
Yankees Twins, Dodgers Cardinals on Saturday. Doubleheader baseball action on Fox. Here's a 2-2 to Matheny. A hanging breaking ball into left field. Matheny with 4 RBIs tonight. 2 more runs and it's 8-3 St. Louis.
baseball, sliders have a tendency to hang more than any other pitch. This ball right around the letters of Mike Matheny. That might have been a curveball. I think it was. But it was a real hanger, and Matheny drives in runs 3 and 4 on the evening.
It's 8-3 now. It was a final of 8-3 in game 1. So Carrara gives up a couple. One of those runs belongs to Alvarez. Now Cedeno will bat for King. Ray King, 1 inning, all zeros. Tavares will be the next pitcher for St. Louis. Cedeno had a very good year off the bench for Tony La Russa. A guy who almost literally was just given to the Cardinals by the Mets. The Mets are paying the bulk of his salary. He was a weapon, drove home 23 runs. Switch hitter with some pop, some speed. That's a strike. It's 0-2.
And there is talk in the Chicago papers about Sammy Sosa perhaps being a member of the New York Mets next year. Sammy Sosa fined $87,000 for not suiting up the last day of the season.
He left early, didn't have permission to do it. That may be the beginning of the end, or at least maybe the end of the end for Sammy Sosa with the Cubs. But he certainly can't be the guy who takes all the blame for the Cubs collapse down the stretch. There's plenty of blame to go around there.
Yep.
Actually, Sosa the final week hit the ball pretty well. Runner at first, 2 out, 1 ball, 2 strikes on Cedeno. That's in the air to center for Finley. The Cardinals get 2 more. They lead by 5 as game number 2 slips into the 8th. We welcome you back to the Division Series on Fox. It is game number 2. We move into the 8th inning. 8 Cardinals won game 1 and they lead game 2. Milton Bradley first up for the Dodgers against Julian Tavares, a right-hander. Ball 1. Tavares is the 5th pitcher of the night for Tony La Russa. For Milton Bradley. Already got a bad hamstring, and now he fouls the ball off his foot or shin.
That's the thing about Tavares. As much as any pitcher on either side, that ball really dives down in the strike zone as part of his effectiveness.
This is the guy that over the offseason Tony La Russa wanted to get. Bradley fouls it away. He went to Walt Jocketty and said, if you're giving me my choice, the guy I want is Tavares, and he has not let his manager down. He was suspended at the end of the season. Actually ended up serving his suspension by the end for being ejected from a game for having what they termed a foreign substance on his hat. But that was the beginning of some controversy as Bradley strikes. August 20th against the Pirates, first game of a doubleheader. It was an issue a couple of different times during the season. Tavares claiming it's rosin and dirt. And the part that really, I think, upset the Cardinals was they found nothing on the ball and they let Tavares take the hat. So Tavares eventually threw the hat up into the seats. A fan took it, gave it back to a local TV station. They did some testing on it. I mean, this thing went on and on and on. But a 10-game suspension was reduced to 8. And the hat looked very similar to the one he's wearing right now.
I was thinking the same thing. That looks like he may have gotten his hat back.
And Tavares said it's just dirt. It's dirt and rosin. And here's the kid who got the hat right behind the dugout, making the most of his moment in the spotlight. Somebody bought that hat off that kid at the game. And then eventually gave it back.
That deserved it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Steve Klein is known around here for having an even more disgusting hat. Here's a 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and Alex Cora.
I've always been amused by baseball's terminology about a foreign substance, as Eric Gagne does get up in the 8th inning and could be the pitcher in the bottom of the 8th as a tune-up for Saturday. Dodgers finding themselves 5 runs down. It's almost like the pine tar came from Asia.
It's a ground ball to second. Womack takes care of Cora. 2 out. With 2 down and the base is empty, David Ross will be the hitter. ESPN will carry those games tomorrow. Angels at the Red Sox, game 3. Yankees at the Twins, game 3, with the series tied 1-1.
Kevin Brown for the Yankees, Carlos Silva for the Twins.
Ventura pinch hitting here with 2 out and nobody on. He's batting for Ross.
It has been a tough year for the Dodgers here in St. Louis. They have yet to win a game. They lost 3 regular season games and then lost 8-3 on Tuesday and trailed big in this one.
They're staring at their 8th consecutive playoff loss. 1 ball, 1 strike from Tavares. Tommy Lasorda with the traveling crew of the Dodgers. With 2 out, nobody on. Ventura pops it up. Tavares turns in a perfect inning as Edmonds waits for it. Bottom of the 8th inning rolls in. Eric Gagne will pitch for the Dodgers. Top of the order coming up, 8-3 St. Louis. The Division Series on Fox is brought to you by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge. By Ameriquest Mortgage, the company that knows you are more. And by Imodium. Where will you be when your diarrhea comes back? It was not directed at you. That was directed out.
Quit it.
To the masses as we move to the bottom of the 8th, and Gagne takes over a little tune-up. Womack takes the ball low. It's not only a tune-up for Gagne, but against the top of the order, Womack, Walker, and Pujols will get a look at Eric Gagne, who is as big a weapon and as good as there is in any bullpen across baseball, and one of the best ever.
If the Dodgers can get it to him, and that has been the problem, not only on Tuesday but tonight. We talked about it early, that the Dodgers needed to score early. They struck first tonight, but just not enough. The Cardinals came roaring back.
Womack flies one into center for Finley. You saw Brent Maine takes over behind the plate after the Dodgers lifted Ross for the pinch hitter. They can put Gagne in that spot. Bat Maine in the number 9 position. Here's Larry Walker. Walker's been on base twice, has an RBI double. Been hit by a pitch and scored a run, and he hits one hard but foul. Walker hit .298 overall during the season, hit .280 after the Cardinals picked him up. The 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike.
5 straight fastballs from Gagne. You know, with the Dodgers trailing by 5 runs, Gagne's too smart to show the Cardinals what he would show them in a save situation. Another fastball.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Think about that, 84 consecutive saves for Eric Gagne.
We had a chance to talk to Eric as he blows away Walker. We talked to Eric at the All-Star break in Houston from out in the bullpen. He's a real likable guy, and it's obvious how good he is with those stats. But he said, you know, there's a guy over in that other bullpen that I can't even be in the same category with, and that was Mariano Rivera, because Gagne said he's done it, and he's done it in October, and he's done it to save World Series games and get the Yankees to the World Series. He has total respect for Mariano Rivera and the kind of statistics he's put together in the postseason with the Yankees.
Mariano Rivera with a blown save last night. And the Minnesota Twins are probably thinking, what would have happened had Corey Koski's ball not gone into the stands? It was a ground rule double. He only tied the game. And then Torrey Hunter with a home run in the 12th inning. And the Yankees scored 2 in the bottom of the 12th. Derek Jeter scoring the winning run.
You and I commented before this game that there really isn't much second guessing to be done on the part of Ron Gardenhire for leaving Nathan out there to try to end the game and go up 2 games to none. You can't take him out. He's throwing the ball great.
That's right.
That's high for a 2-out walk.
I mean, it really wasn't the hitting of the Yankees that did him in. The 2 walks. I mean, walking Miguel Cairo and then walking Derek Jeter, and then the double by Alex Rodriguez. And then after the walk to Sheffield, the sacrifice fly by Hideki Matsui.
Nathan had already proven that he wasn't intimidated by the stage.
Yep.
Yankee Stadium. He had pitched great for 2 innings. He pitched a shutout inning in game 1. Got the save in game 1. And if you're Ron Gardenhire and you're going to bring somebody else out of the bullpen to try to get the save against that group of hitters, including Jeter and others,
you'd have been second guessed forever. That's exactly right. And properly second guessed in my view. I mean, Nathan's your guy. I don't care how many pitches he's thrown. Got to throw that clicker away, that pitch count, all that stuff in postseason play.
Jim Tracy told us before the game, if the situation were right, the Dodgers could have turned this into a game where they needed to go through 7, maybe even less. They would have been tempted with the idea of using Gagne for more than 2 innings in the right situation tonight. And he has gone 3 this year. Here's an 0-2 to Roland. Got a pretty good rip. 97 on the radar gun from Gagne. From Diamond Cam. The swing by Roland, who's set up at 0-2. Roland is gone. So are the Cardinals. Into the 9th inning. The Dodgers needing 5 to stay alive. 8-3 into the 9th. 9th inning, and Julian Tavares is back out for another. He had a perfect 8th. Brent Mayne first up for the Dodgers. Ball 1. Mayne is a career .341 hitter against St. Louis. As Turris and Worth will follow, and then you get into the heart of this lineup. Dodgers down by 5 in the 9th. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mayne was 0 for 2 in game 1 of this series, and he is on to start the 9th inning for Los Angeles.
You look at a game where the Cardinals are ahead by 5 runs here in the 9th inning, and you say, well, what do you mean the Dodgers had a chance to break it open? Well, even Tony La Russa told Joe and me earlier that was the case. You remember the 3-1 pitch to Steve Finley? Bases loaded, and he missed it. And then on the 3-2 pitch, Cal Eldred had Steve on a fly ball to center field. 3-0 the count, but that's the key pitch in this game thus far. The pitch he missed and the pitch he hit.
That was that long 4th inning when the Dodgers had the back-to-back home runs as Klein gets loose in the St. Louis bullpen. It was a 3-3 game. 3 walks followed. Eldred had run it to 3-0 on Finley. Came back to get him on that fly ball to center. Keep it 3-3, and the Cardinals went up with 3 in the 5th, 2 more in the 7th, and lead by those 5 runs. Oh, 2 on his Turris, who's 0 for 3 with a walk tonight. Dodgers trying to mount a rally. That's ball 1. Leadoff hit by Maine. His Turris out of the way of. Gagne got through a scoreless 8th. The Dodgers 53 come from behind victories during the regular season. 26 in their final at bat. Down by 5 here, and his Turris pops it up. Left center field, it's Sanders. 1 on, 1 out. The producer of tonight's game is Jeff Gowan, the director Jim Lynch, associate director Eric Billigmeyer, broadcast associate is Zach Fields. There are more names on the list we'll get to as Duncan goes out to talk, with Worth coming up. Technical producer is Dan Rotante. The technical director is Jeff Butler. The studio show produced by Gary Lang, directed by Bob Levy. The associate director Stephanie Medina. Coordinating producer of the studio show Scott Ackerson. The studio technical supervisor is Jack Simmons. The senior producer of Fox Sports Bill Brown, and the executive producers David Hill and Ed Goring. 1 on, 1 out here in the 9th inning, and Worth, who homered in his first at bat, 1 for 2 with a pair of walks, stands in. Breaking ball in for a strike. We talked about it at the start. The question was, how would the Cardinals respond once the game started to mean something again? After finishing the regular season with 105 wins, only 1 shy of tying the franchise mark. Outside, a ball and a strike. The Cardinals came up with 5 home runs in game 1. Won at 8-3. They lead 8-3 in game 2. They did it a different way. The Cardinal team was 7 of 15 with 7 RBIs with 2 outs in this game 2. A 1-1. Strike 2. This Cardinal team, which is missing its most consistent starter from the regular season, Chris Carpenter. Return to Matt Morris in game 3. He'll take on Lima. Still 1-2. The pitching matchup for game 3. Matt Morris against Lima, a 15-game winner against a 13-game winner. That'll be on Saturday after the all-new Dodge Dakota pregame show doubleheader baseball. Yankees and Twins, Cardinals at Dodgers. Louis Tiant appears in game 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. A different delivery from Tavares, who marches to the beat of a different drum sometimes.
That was a little El Tiante.
2-2 on Worth. Breaking ball is foul. Let's go back to that previous 2-2 delivery.
Julian can be quite innovative on the mound, as Tiante was for the Cleveland Indians and Boston Red Sox. Louis looking forward to watching the Red Sox and the Anaheim Angels tomorrow night.
Another 2-2 pitch to Worth. Full count. This could be the last hitter for Tavares either way. I think the Cardinals want to see what they have in Klein. He's ready in the bullpen with Finley on deck.
That was a close 2-2 pitch. But the Cardinals saying no walks right here.
Worth trying to get on any way he can. Still battling. Jason is homered, walked twice, flied out. Another 3-2 pitch. 2 out. And that's going to be it for Tavares. Steve Klein has a tendon tear. The finger on his pitching hand, and Tony La Russa and Dave Duncan want to see just how sharp Klein is. It's 8-3, 1 on, 2 out in the ninth. Three of tonight's heroes for St. Louis, at least the hitting heroes, the bottom part of the order, 6, 7, and 8. Renneria, Sanders, and Matheny. Matheny drove home 5, making 4 of those 5 runs. That group 8 out of 10. Klein now takes over, and Finley takes a strike. One guy who's not on that list as a hero in this game is the young 24-year-old right-hander, Dan Herron, who gave the Cardinals 2 shutout innings and is in line for the victory.
Coming in to restore order.
1 ball, 1 strike on Finley. Klein went on the disabled list with a strained groin and a finger injury. Missed a month. Came back right at the end of the season. And his health and his effectiveness, the reason why he's in there right now. Finley didn't get it all. Walker coming to get it. The Cardinals are up 2 games tonight. It took 5 home runs to make it 8-3 in game 1. This a much different sort of game, but an 8-3 final in game 2 nonetheless. And it was the bottom of the order that did the damage tonight. Travel day tomorrow in this series. That man, Jose Lima, will try to get the Dodgers in the win column on Saturday. That game on Fox Saturday night against Matt Morris. Renneria's 2-out base hit broke a 3-3 tie, and the Cardinals scored 5 unanswered runs.
Joe, after Tuesday's game, Tony La Russa quoted as saying that his ball club can put up crooked numbers with the best of them. And I think you saw it tonight. Crooked numbers put on the scoreboard. Totally different from the way the Cardinals did it on Tuesday.
There's the winner, Dan Herron, getting congratulations. Let's go down to Chris Myers.
All right, so power ball in game 1, small ball in game 2. Mike Matheny driving in 4. This offense, you must have a feeling that nobody can stop us now.
Yeah, it's been a very consistent offense all season. The guys have done a great job of getting on base. We've got a meat of the order that's just amazing how they drive in the runs, and it's good that sometimes the bottom of the order can do a little bit to help. But these guys have been so consistent all season long, and we're just hoping that keeps up the rest of the way.
For you, seeing the ball well tonight in key opportunities?
It's just always a battle offensively, and tonight just tried to get a couple balls up, and they just happen to fall into the right spots. But like I said, it's just trying to contribute every once in a while, and that's just gravy on being able to on top of being able to go out here and catch a game where these guys really battled for us.
Nice job with the bullpen. What can we expect from Matt Morris back in Los Angeles? You guys can end it there.
Well, once again, it's all going to be on Matt keeping the ball down, just like we tried to get Jason to do tonight, almost a little bit too much. We worked below the zone a lot tonight, but Matt's got great stuff. He's got a lot of confidence, had a great bullpen, and now he's just anxious to get on the mound again.
I know you have 5 children at home. Are they watching? Are they up this late? You going to be able to see them?
They better be up. I hope so. But we're heading on the road, so I got to go say goodbye.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go back up to Joe and Tim.
All right, Chris, thank you very much, and our thanks to Mike Matheny for hanging in there with us and joining us. The 2 starters could not get through 5 innings tonight. A battle of the bullpens, and the Cardinals win this one, a final of 8-3. Thanks to you for joining us tonight from St. Louis. For Tim McCarver and Chris Myers, I'm Joe Buck. For more information on tonight's game and for the latest information